We're at the home of Dallas Willard on a beautiful sunshiny day, perched up above the city, and we're talking about meaning. Dallas, I have a couple questions for you from the philosophical point of view. What is meaning, or how do we define meanings? Is there one definition, or are there many?
Well, meaning is one of the preoccupations of modern philosophy. The 19th century is the point where it begins to be a pressing cultural and personal issue, because the old frameworks of ideas and society are breaking down. And that is a process that has continued and is continuing up to today under the heading usually of what is called postmodernism. So it is a huge human issue. In more recent philosophy, in the English-speaking world, it has tried to limit itself to linguistic meaning, the meaning of words and sentences and so on. But it's very hard to contain it because of its nature, and because people have issues about it that really haven't thought much about language at all. So the bigger question is the meaning of life, and probably that is something that now most people with a high school education or even a grade school education, or just someone who listens to the songs will pick up on. You have a group, at least you used to have a group called Nirvana, for example, which was very popular. And Nirvana is really about the meaning of life. Nirvana is what organizes a certain group of people's thinking about the meaning of life. It is achieving nirvana.
And what is the modern nirvana or the postmodern nirvana that you see our young people and your young students seeking?
Well, nirvana is technically a pretty complicated concept, and most people today have no idea what it is, though they like the group and they like to toy with the thought. Nirvana stands for the obliteration of all of the ordinary distinctions of life in some great sea of non-consciousness. And it might well be thought, if you watch popular culture, that non-consciousness is what people are striving for. And that's one reason why addictions are so strong, is because they pull you out of ordinary consciousness and put you into something else. And I think, generally speaking, people today, especially young people, find the ordinary world very hard to endure. And so they are looking for something else without much awareness of what it might be like. And so a good shot of something, or attending a rave or something of that sort, puts them out of ordinary consciousness. And though they don't know what they're seeking, they're ready to go. And of course, often in very destructive ways.
And how would you see a healthy spirituality filling that void for the "I still haven't found what I'm looking for" mindset?
Well, if by healthy spirituality you mean one that actually does good to human beings, then instead of trying to discard ordinary existence and the world of Maya, as it is called in some of the associated religions, you would want to see the contemporary world as caught up in something good and lasting, and capable of organizing life together in a way that is not destructive, a way that overcomes pain, a way that overcomes having to do a lot of stuff you don't want to do, and gives you a sense of direction and purpose and strength. All spiritualities aim for two things. One is identity and one is power. And identity is who am I? And that can only be answered in a context of a certain sort. And then power has to come from the reality that is actually present and not just something you have to work up on your own. See, a lot of power comes from mind manipulation, and you hear various popular sources like Oprah and others, and they're fundamentally talking about self-manipulation, with the idea that yourself is actually something much different from what you see when you look in the mirror or think about when you think about who you are and what you're doing. Usually yourself winds up being not God, but the absolute on those theories. So if you work it, your mind just right, you'll get down to that and you'll find immense power.